Hello everybody, this is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Brawl video. And today I am playing an Alela Brawl deck. Alela really cares about artifacts, enchantments, and flyers. So in this deck, you'll see a lot of those. Now, I don't want to bore you too much, so why don't we jump right into the gameplay. Alright, so jumping into this first game, it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens here. Now, I decided to include a little bit more of the in-between games to give myself more time to talk because I speed up the video, but we're playing against a Niv-Mizzet Reborn deck, which is generally pretty good. My deck is kind of jank, but I do start with Leyline of Anticipation, which I need to remember to use more, but it's fine. Like, it basically allows me to cast things at instant speed, and so that means I'll be able to cast my commander here shortly, provided I get blue mana. Now, I do have that tap land, Mystic Sanctuary, which will most likely enter taps because this is a 3-color deck, so it probably doesn't fit very well in this deck, but whatever. At this point, obviously, it looks like he has a better board state than me, kind of. You know, he has some ramp in there, and I decided to grab a black there so I can cast Kaya's Wrath, because like, originally I was going to need a blue, which would let me cast my commander. However, it's a lot more likely that I'm going to need to Kaya's Wrath quicker than I will need to get out my commander. This deck is interesting, and this game is also very interesting. It's quite long, because it's very dynamic gameplay with lots of back and forth. Now, here I have Karn, which would actually deactivate his thingy, and I make a really stupid mistake here, and I'm gonna try and, well, never mind, I lied, that's a different game. He counterspells it, and he plays more ramp, so at this point, he's gonna be able to play his commander next turn if, nothing changes. So I decide to play Alela, and then I concede. Now, I lied. This isn't the dynamic gameplay. This next set of footage is the dynamic gameplay, I believe. Now, of course, that guy, I basically was getting tired of basic things getting counterspelled, because I figured that was a lot of what his deck was, so that's part of why I conceded. And of course, I'm playing against a mono blue player, which basically means they are running counterspells and mill, which is quite obnoxious. Now, I do have access to early game removal, like Glass Casket, and then I can duplicate that Glass Casket with Mirror Maid, which is pretty cool. But at this point, I don't know if there's really anything I should play. I decided to play the Glass Casket just to get it off the field, because he is a counterspell deck, and if I didn't do that now, I'd basically die to a 1/1 in 24 turns. As you can see, he likes to counterspell things, which is quite obnoxious and doesn't lead to very interesting gameplay, but he's kind of like this artifact blue kind of deck, and it'll be interesting to see how this game turns out. So I'm able to get out Emery, which is pretty dangerous, especially with my commander, because, like, Stone Coil Serpent, right? What you can do is you can cast it for 0, or you can cast it for 1, but if you cast it for 0, and then you can get the Alela trigger, because Alela triggers when an artifact enters the battlefield, and then you can recast it for 0 again and get another 1/1. So basically, if you have Emery on the field and Stone Coil Serpent, you can basically just every turn at instant speed at your end step get another creature. Now I'm able to Conclave Tribunal his Jace, which is kind of scary because obviously his deck has to have a lot of cards in hand in order to win. Now I'm able to do this Law Mage Binding thing, which for the time I thought like solved my problem, because, well, now his commander is basically useless. He can't even recast it. Which, that would be the case, except, nothing can ever go right. Now what's gonna happen here is that I'm just, like, going for it. I know he's going to counterspell things, but he ends up not counterspelling things, so that makes me happy. Now, if you notice, I cast Stone Coil Serpent for 0, creating a 2/1. It dies, and then I can tap Emery to allow me to cast Stone Coil Serpent, provided he doesn't do anything in response. Now, what he does is he ups the count of Blast Zone to 4. Now, at first, I was very confused. I'm like, I would take out Emery here because I can always recast Alela. However, this also kills his Conclave Tribunal, which returns his Jace to the battlefield, which is kind of terrifying. However, I'm not super duper worried about it. I mean, this game is going to get very interesting. He's able to, of course, bounce my 2 blockers back to hand. And I decided to play Doom Foretold. Now, I make a couple mistakes with Doom Foretold. Now, he sacrifices Jace, quarter monitor. Now, I probably shouldn't have played it because it's currently keeping his commander at bay, but either way, he's able to bounce it and create a 1/1. He's getting all sorts of permanents on the field, which is really good with Doom Foretold on the field because he can just keep, like, he can sacrifice the 2/3 Augur Bolus. It's just, so far, it's not looking great. Although I have a chance. Now, he plays Kasmina's Transmutation, which really sucks. And so, because with Emery, the cool part about Emery is I could have kept tapping her in order to bring back things. Now, what I decided to do is activate 2 Doom Foretold, because that will force him to basically wipe his side of the board, and I could theoretically just sacrifice my Doom Foretolds. So I'm not super duper worried about it. I mean, when it comes back to my turn, what I decided to do is sacrifice Emery because she's being useless, and I sacrifice the Glass Casket, returning the 1/4, because at this point it's not super important. I lied. I return Doom Foretold to my hand. And then I play Dovin, Hand of Control, and he counterspells it. So, I basically didn't do anything on that turn. Now, he's down to a 1/1. I have a 1/1. Now, he is his commander, and this is where things start really going downhill quickly. So you'll notice I cast my board wipe in order to delay his commander and, just wipe the board. So far the field is pretty basic. I basically wiped the field, and so we get to start over, and he has 2 cards. So at this point, I'm doing really well. So what do? I cast Alela. At this point, he has so much mana that there's never going to be a turn where he can't counterspell something. My only hope is to draw cards out of his hand, which I do. So now my commander costs 8 to cast instead of 4, which is fine. I cast Dawn of Hope, which, when combined with Divine Visitation, is very powerful. I cast Bag of Holding, and so I'm just getting my artifact count up there. And then I cast Shine Chaser, which I actually just casted an artifact and an enchantment. So it's a 3/3 with Flying and Vigilance, which isn't bad. And then he casts Magic Mirror, and this is where everything goes downhill. Now, I decided to play Godfair Statue because, first off, it kills him slowly, and second off, it makes it harder for him to do anything. And he plays that stupid Eyes Everywhere card. And so I'm like, what is he going to do? So I cast my commander, because I'm like, the obvious target here is Godfair Statue, because, well, basically, right now, all my spells are 4 cheaper than his, and so by switching it, that's what happens. But he decides to do my commander, which, if I can kill my commander, I theoretically just gain something from that. I have to spend a kill spell, so I guess that's part of it. But I do get to then return Kaya's Wrath. And so I have to decide, do I, take Magic Mirror? Because at this point, we both have blue mana. Eyes Everywhere can be a very powerful card if your opponent doesn't have blue mana. But do I really want to be fighting back and forth between Magic Mirror and Eyes Everywhere? It would stop him from drawing cards. But at this point, and of course he has Artifact Synergy, so Alela is actually very useful to him, which is very unfortunate to me. So at this point, it's looking very sad because he's creating two 1s, although I am going to draw into Kaya's Wrath next turn, which isn't bad, and, I'm able to create the 4/4, and I'm able to scry, and then what I do is I cast Kaya's Wrath. Now, obviously, if I didn't have any... If I had enough mana, I would have Eyes Everywhere, but I thought drawing the card would be more important. And here you're about to see he has so many cards in hand that he can pretty much do whatever he wants because of Magic Mirror. So what I really need to do is be able to sacrifice, swap Eyes Everything, then kill Eyes Eyes Everywhere. Now he plays Commence the Endgame, which creates a 10/10, which with my commander that wouldn't be a big deal because I could just keep chump blocking. Now I get Ugin. And I don't know why I thought this would resolve. But I basically decided, what do I want to cast, Karn or Ugin? And now I decided to cast Ugin because my original plan was to cast Ugin, and that would lower the cost of Karn. But of course, it gets counterspelled. So, yay. He plays his commander. So at this point, I'm about to be at 6 life. And I can't let him hit me with his commander because that's an insta-kill because of the amount of cards in his hand. And I can't let him hit me with the 10/10 because that's just a normal kill. So what I should have done is created angels with that token creator. Why can't I think of the name? That's what I should have done. But I decided to play Karn instead, and what I should have done is use his ability and turn the golden bag into an artifact instead of doing the -2 ability, which is literally useless, because guess what, there's no sideboards. So that was kind of stupid, but at this point, you know, I get a pack from it because I complete a quest, and I feel really stupid at this point. I mean, we run into our second game, which is Jace, and I start with another ley line. The hand is decent. I do get a free mulligan, so I might mulligan it, but generally it's pretty good. I don't think I would need to mulligan it. I get to put Leyline of the Void on the field, which, I mean, it does matter when he's playing a mill deck, in case he, like, wants cards that he mills, like, back. He can't. And clearly Jace is a self-mill card. Jace actually works really well as a commander for the fact that you can always guarantee you have it. However, since I have Leyline, it looks like he's converting to just milling me. Although, you know, I don't know what his main strategy could be. Because for me, if I was running a mill strat, I would run Ashiok, because that allows you to exile your opponent's graveyard, which can be useful against, like, Izzet decks, Golgari decks. It can be useful against a lot of things. Now, I decided to concede. I'm not actually sure why I end up conceding, but I do. And we move on to a game against Mono Black. Now, Mono Black, this game is kind of interesting, and this video is already getting long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video from here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.